submitted. Let us know. We'll pop them up on the screen. And once you start talking about using your exhibits up at the podium, there is a pointer. You can point to whatever you want us to look at. Use compass directions, descriptive language. It doesn't translate very well if you say, well, if you notice over here or over there, here and there doesn't translate well in the minutes. And compass directions, structures, roads, anything that you can do with your descriptive language to help us create good minutes is going to be helpful in the long run. Once you finish your presentation, just let us know. I'm done. Any questions, that'll give us a clue. It's like, all right, then we're going to take some time and ask you some questions. From time to time, applicants sometimes get a little bit unnerved by the questions we ask. The reason why we're asking questions is we need to find some facts. And if we have to, we could. There is a screen that we can show for the criteria of an area variance. We're both looking for area variances here. And the questions generally going to relate to one of those 5 criteria. Is it going to change the character of the neighborhood? That kind of thing. So that's the reason why we're asking these types of questions, to really hone in on why it is you're doing it, what it is, so we can get as specific as we can and figure out whether or not we can grant or we have to deny the area variance. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We're here to answer them as best we can. I think that pretty much covers it. Hasn't? We'll touch base on it. All right, that is taken care of. Next thing I'd like to cover is the minutes of June 15th, 2026. Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review. If we need some further discussion, let me know. I would entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Matt. A second. Thank you, Chris. Any further discussion about this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, Fairways has been tabled. Schuster is next up.
Hi there, good evening. Thanks
Hi.
for hearing us today.
Yes.
So yeah, my name is Saul Schuster. This is my wife, Haley Schuster. And we're here seeking approval of a variance to construct a temporary hoop house to grow organic produce in front of the front line of the structure, the main structure on the property. You said there's a pointer here? Excellent. Is this one better for everybody to see? There's a house built on the structure right about where that laser pointer is that was built in, I believe, 96 by my grandfather. Haley and I recently moved into that house, and we would love to be able to continue the gardening that we've been doing and to expand what we're doing to grow organic food for ourselves, for our neighbors, and eventually as a business, to sell produce to, anybody who wants to buy it. We've got markets that we've gone to and vended at, and we've had some really good success, and we want to continue to do that on a bigger scale and extend our growing season. This hoop house is a pretty simple structure. It's an aluminum frame where the posts get pounded into the ground just with a sledgehammer, and then 6 mil plastic sheeting gets draped over the top of it and attached with some fasteners. There's a kit that we'd like to order and that we would assemble ourselves to build the hoop house. And so it's set back. The reason we want a variance for the front line of the house is the front line of the house is pretty far off the road. I think it's about 1,000 feet from south to north, about 400 feet from west to east, about 1,000 feet from east to west. Behind the property is entirely hills and woods. So behind this whole area is all woods up here. And to put a hoop house there wouldn't work feasibly. We'd have to clear cut a lot of woods and level a huge amount of terrain in order to put it there. Right down the road, in terms of the character of the neighborhood, we're surrounded by farmland. If you've driven down County Road 41, Boughton Hill Road, there's abundant farms all around us that have, large barns and other structures that are in this character. And we believe this would maintain the character of the neighborhood very well. It's a very, easy process for us to build this. It'll take about 2 or 3 days once oh yeah, that's a great illustration with the topography there to show all of the hills directly. That little blue square is the house. And then this dark blue here is the proposed site of the hoop house. And then a variance was already granted for this pole barn, which is set in front of the front line of the house that my father had put in back in, I want to say 2016. Yeah, so that's kind of the basics of it. We've gotten approval, or we've gotten support from our back neighbor. We have a shared driveway here with 7708 that leads back to Greg Hawkins' house. And so he's the only person that has access to the shared driveway that we use to get to the house. He's all in favor of this and really wants to, we've gifted him quite a bit of our produce over the time that we've been growing, and he would love to see this project happen as well. And it's really out of sight of any other house on the in the general vicinity. None of the other neighbors would be able to see the hoop house from their homes. And I think the only other thing I have to say really is that we were told that this is within 500 feet of county property, which is County Road 41, but the Ontario County had already said that this is exempt from review and that they don't need to review any further on their end, even though it's within 500 feet of county property. We got an exemption from Ontario County emailed to us as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm here to answer any questions. Don't know what else you want to know, but happy to answer whatever I can.
Jamie. Leah, questions, comments, concerns?
Okay. Yes, so the first question, you stated in your application and just now that it's going to be temporary. So just explain what you mean by temporary.
Sure. So the structure is, as I was explaining, aluminum poles that get just kind of sledgehammered into the ground, and then 6 mil plastic sheeting, which goes over the top. That sheeting is not, it's something that could come down very quickly, very easily. We plan on keeping it there long term. I think temporary might be a slight misnomer. Like, we would like to have it there for the rest of our lives and to continue to grow produce there. But temporary in the sense that there's no foundation except for some small concrete footers on the posts, about 6 inches deep, and very easy to remove.
Are there any times during the year, during the winter time, do you plan on taking off that, aluminum cover at all?
No, the plastic cover we want to keep on in winter because it will extend our growing season all the way into February without any heating source. Just the passive solar heating will allow us to continue to grow crops right in the ground. Spinach, arugula, kale, really cold hardy crops will be able to still be grown pretty much into February, and then it'll extend the growing season on in the spring as well. Rather than starting plants after the last frost, we can start as early as usually April.
Okay.
So it is removable, and it has to be replaced, the plastic sheeting, every 5 to 10 years, depending on how rough the winters are on the sheeting, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I just thought when you had said temporary, that maybe you take it off a few months out of the year, but that's fine. So this, your diagrams that you submitted, the topo maps are very good because you answered a lot of my questions with the flatness of the site and then back of the house, it's not feasible. And your neighbor to the, I would say, looking at your property to the left of you. Is
that
That's-
here that you're indicating?
Yes, that property, yes. Yeah, right adjacent to Strong Road. That's all a farm? There's no house there? Or?
There is a small house. It's right here on 41, right on the frontage of 41. But all behind here is a combination of meadowland and corn or soybeans or hay, depending on the season.
Okay, that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you.
Larry, questions, comments, concerns?
And the owner of that land's okay with what you want to do?
The owner of the land that we're living on?
No, the owner of the land to the left.
I mean, we have not spoken directly with them, so I can't answer that question.
The building that you're going to put up can be seen from 41, all right?
From 41, there's one little dip in the road. There's quite a big hill right here on the frontage of 41. There's one dip in the hill where it might be visible when you're driving by, but this entire line here on 41, on the south side of the property, is all black walnut trees, and it really does cover quite a bit of the visibility into that field. There will be occasional gaps in the trees where the hoop house would be visible.
I'm looking at that and I'm wondering why right there and not to the right, further back, further forward?
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons. We want to run a hose from the house where we have a well to be able to get water into this, when we need it, just to the outside so we can fill up watering cans and be able to use the cans in that way. So this is a straight line pretty much from the house right to the proposed site, to run a hose right off of the well spigot. It doesn't have to be directly right there, a little further back or a little, closer to the road is fine, but this is oriented so that it gets full sun year-round when it's not
So this is
cloudy.
where, but this is where you want it?
This is where we would like it, yes.
Okay. Okay. Adam, does this require a building permit? Yep. Okay. I have no other questions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Matt?
So this, where it's going, is the existing agricultural field?
So yes, it was used for corn and soybeans, this field, for the past 30-ish years, by a neighbor, Bill Brown. He was using this field for corn and soybeans, kind of with a gentleman's agreement with my grandfather. When he passed in 2000, he kind of just kept going and kept using the field. We've had him since cease because we want to start growing and using this field for our own agricultural purposes, specifically organic and not, big corn and soy. We want to do different things than that. So yeah, it's not technically zoned like agricultural with Ontario County. We do plan on opting in November to the agricultural district, I think it's called, which I think will change the need for building permits for these types of structures in the future. But for now, yes, it's an agricultural field for all intents and purposes.
And you're planning on then also using all 8 acres eventually, or besides just the hoop house, you're going to farm the rest of it, expand however?
Expand, yeah. I mean, we'd like to have chickens out there eventually, and have coops for them and have like fenced-in areas for them to be able to roam. We don't plan on cultivating the entire thing. A lot of it is a meadow, and we like the benefits of a meadow that they offer for the pollinators and for birds and the deer and all of that. So we plan on keeping quite a bit of it in its natural state.
Okay, and then, Adam, you mentioned in November, they're opting into the Ontario County Agricultural District. So once they did that in November, the need for this variance would basically go away?
Correct. If they're just going to have what they consider an ag building, so it doesn't have power, it doesn't have plumbing, it's used for an agricultural process, then it's exempted from building permits. So because they don't need a building permit, they don't need to comply with the zoning code.
When they opt in, will the variance go away?
Nope.
Okay, just curious.
And if I may add that we were told that when we opt in, we won't get a result on that until the following May, which is the reason we want to get this done. We want to do this year so that we can extend our growing season this season and also start earlier this coming spring, rather than having to wait for next May for the opt-in process for all the paperwork to get filed and everything.
I'll just mention too, since we're on that topic, and you kind of got into some of your plans moving forward, I mean, you have the right to farm your land. Nobody can stop you from that. Fences, though, until you're in the agricultural district, can have an ag fence without a permit.
Yes,
Fence can't be forward to the home, just like the shed, so
got it.
just something to consider.
Thank you. Yep.
So from your standpoint, this is very much, we'll call it a timing issue, because it seems like, because if you opted in May of next year, you'd be able to put this up then without the need for a variance, but this helps you get ahead of that.
Yeah, and, I want to do everything by the books, and pending that it's possible when we opt in, I think there's still approval that has to be granted, so we might not be granted approval based on what we submit. I'm not exactly sure of the process, but nonetheless, yeah. It's timing and also just to make sure we can do the project in the right way.
Yep, understood. Okay.
Thanks.
I have no other questions.
Chris?
No, I drove by it and I was surprised it's almost like a huge berm
Yes,
and you cannot see much from the road. And going back 400 and some odd feet, even more, it won't impact the character. Which is great because, as you say, it's temporary, the plastic comes on and off, and you just have the frame, but it sounds like you're gonna keep it on and maintain that plastic, obviously. There is a life cycle to
yeah.
that. And so, no, I'm all set.
Okay, what's the acreage of the property?
Acreage is 56 point, I want to say 56.4, somewhere in there.
The distance from the house to the proposed location?
I can get that number to you. I don't have that. I did not measure that. It looks like it's, yeah, based on the lines that are there, I'd say 400 to 600 feet, but I can get you that number if that's helpful.
All right, so is it a safe estimate, more than 400 feet, less
Yes.
than 700 feet?
Yes, very safe.
Right. And I hope we can answer this. So presuming that they're successful in opting into the ag district, if this board grants a variance and the following year they decide to move away, does the ag district granting stay with the land, or is it just to the owner?
Yeah, I would stay with the land so that the next owners would have to opt back out of the district.
Okay.
That's my understanding of
All right,
it.
so if the variance is granted and they're successful in opting into the ag district, it's not that the variance is void. It almost has little impact because they're already in the ag district, and had they been in the ag district, they wouldn't be in front of us.
Correct.
Right? So I'm thinking, if we put a condition that if the board decides to grant the variance, it is specific to this 12, where's there?
12 by 60.
Yeah, 12 by 60 temporary plastic coverage called a hoop house, right?
Yes.
And that way, it can't be a barn, it can't be a structure with a foundation in it.
Our code doesn't necessarily differentiate when it comes to accessory structures between temporary and non-temporary. And temporary could be argued, right?
you
Some would
just-
say 10 years is temporary, some would say 1 year.
Described as a condition as a hoop house, and only a hoop house with, what is it, aluminum stakes? I missed the.
Yeah, aluminum posts
stakes.
and-
So if you really box it into what that is that they want to do, and that's only what it can do, it can't be another pole barn, it can't be a garage, it can't be anything. It's a completely different variance for, if they wanted to do it, that's what they would have to do. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's up to the zoning board if they want to implement that kind of condition. Justification, if your justification wouldn't work for another structure, and you felt like they would need to come back, then that's certainly a
Okay.
condition you could apply.
Could we structure it as saying that if they were successful in getting the opt-in, that the variance is void?
If they were successful in getting the,
Opt-in that they're looking for?
right,
If they're successful with that, then the variance that we've granted them is void.
My
They're
understanding.
not going to need it.
It wouldn't have impact, right? So let's say they get opted in.
Right.
They have this variance for this very specific one. They can put up 5 more without a permit because it's an ag building.
Right.
And then the next homeowner opted out, those buildings become pre-existing non-conforming. So there's really no need to make the variance void at that point.
and almost, it's there, it's
It
in
almost
the
just becomes
books,
irrelevant,
But
yeah.
that's it, right. Right.
Now, if they were to knock them all down, they could essentially just build, they were opted back out, they knock them all down, they could put up one more based on the conditions of this variance.
Bless you. All right,
A lot of
so,
work to get to there.
It's a crazy scenario, yeah, but I guess you can go through all possibilities.
all right, let's just, let me ask you, if the board decides to put that condition on, are you okay with that?
Yes, that would be fine with me.
Matt, what do you think about that?
I'm fine with the variance without the condition. Myself.
Okay? Larry?
I'm okay with the condition.
Leah?
Also with the
All right,
condition.
Chris?
I'm okay, but you just want to use this as, put this in as the description of the,
Oh, yeah, that'll be, it's in the packet, we'll call it a 12 by 60,
grow
tunnel, right, greenhouse, grow tent, and it's specific to that.
right? Nail it down.
Yeah,
But I'm okay with it.
all right, and until you, again, make that decision, no one's forcing you to make that, but I believe you're probably going to make that application for the Ag District.
On my calendar.
To be on the safe side, if the board decides to grant the variance, a condition that you're going to maintain it in good repair, because I have noticed from time to time, there are these greenhouses, and they let it go, and you see, it's almost worse than it was before. There's flapping of plastics
Yes.
all over the place, and it's very unsightly.
We see them driving around and we say all the time, if we had that on our land, it would not look like that. Well, yeah,
You're going to
100%.
maintain it, and again, if the board decides to put that as a condition, needs to be in good repair, that's certainly up to the entire board. So this is going to be up all year,
Correct.
correct? Had one person email us, Greg Octon, 7708 County Road 41.
Yes, that's the neighbor that I was referring to who lives on this plot on the map. We have a shared driveway to get to the house as well as his house. The shared driveway is right here. It splits off to the west and continues on north to get to his property.
Okay. I think I have everything I need. Anyone want to speak for or against the application? To ask it. All right, let me just do a quick check then on the other condition I was thinking of as far as it being a condition of being maintained in good repair. Chris, you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Leah?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Matt?
That's fine.
Okay, great. All right, then, anything else you want to add, comment? All right.
Not at this time. Thank you.
I do have one small question.
Sure, go ahead.
That's my usual nitpicking kind of thing.
Oh,
I'm
ask
looking
away.
at the instruction manual, page 3 of 20, for the, and for some reason, one side says 12 feet and the other side says 12 feet 3 inches. The reason I'm nitpicking on this is if we give you a variance for 12 feet, you can't go 3 inches.
The 12.3 feet's to the outside of the footing, which is underground.
That's not a problem.
I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay. And your proposed location is marked on one of your maps.
Yes, I believe it's the one that's up on the screen as well at the moment.
All right, then confirming 440.85 feet from County Road 41. 400, did I say that right? 440.85 feet from County Road 41. Looks like to the right of way.
Yes, correct. So the,
All right, and then to the east, 425.05 feet to the property line. Right, so, is that correct so far?
that looks correct, yep.
All right, and then 752.48 feet to the property line to the west.
I think I might have east and west switched there, actually. Can we go back to the prior map? Yes, so where do you see the 700 feet? I might be,
It's to the,
It's to the right of the blue.
right, yeah.
this one here, I just can't read it from here.
It says 752.48. That's the east?
Gotcha, so I have it flipped.
Thanks.
Okay. So let's reverse that. So the 752.48 feet is to the east of the property line. Correct?
Correct, yep.
And 425.05 feet to the west property line.
That's correct.
What is the 529.34 feet?
That's a diagonal showing to the neighboring property of 7728.
Okay.
Yep,
All right, we can put that in there too, 529.34 feet to the
Southeast.
property to the
that would be
So-
southeast.
east.
I don't think we should be that specific, because when they go to put it up and then it's shifted 3 inches from there, they're gonna be right back here trying to get a revised.
I don't think so.
No.
I think you, in the variant, it's gotta put some type of, where is this
I
going?
know, I
Not just
understand that.
anywhere.
I'm just thinking down to the 100th of a foot is too specific to set.
This is what they want.
I understand that. I just,
These measurements from this software program are also approximation. This is not survey quality measurements.
Yeah, I would appreciate some flexibility on the inches.
So we can put approximately, the numbers I just gave. If you want me to do it again, I can. We can insert that word approximately with all those distances. And that should give the applicant sufficient latitude of putting it approximately in that location without worrying about exactly where it is.
Thank you.
Does that work, Matt?
I think that works, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, let's go through the criteria. All right, first, an undesirable change would not be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties created by the granting of an area variance. Justification being, the property being 56 acres and change, plus or minus, it was prior use of farmlands. They want to install a temporary 12 by
60 foot.
Thank you. 12 by 60 plastic-covered hoop house for gardening, to grow produce for themselves, and in the future, possibly sell it to the public. Also put in there that in prior owner, a pole barn forward of the house was granted in 2016. The house is approximately more than 400 feet, but less than 700 feet from the right-of-way on County Road 41. There is what's described as a berm in between the proposed location of the hoop house and County Road 41. The applicant is going to maintain it in good repair. We have inserted the distance, and probably specific, more important, is the 440, approximately 440.85 feet from the right-of-way in County Road 41. They are also going to apply to opt into the Ag District, but probably won't know until later this year or early
May of 2027.
May of 2027, okay. All right, anything else to comment or add for the first criteria? All right, hearing none, let's go to the second criteria. The benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than area variance. The applicant indicated that due to the topography and wooded area to the
North.
south of the house?
North.
North of the house, thank you. North of the house, that it would be cost prohibitive as well as don't want to take down trees to put the structure. And also, let's mirror the justifications we had for the first criteria. Would anyone like to add or comment on the justification for the second criteria? Third, the area variance is not substantial. An important factor is a variance was already granted for the pole barn forward of the house, and also the distance of the proposed temporary hoop house. Doesn't appear that this is a substantial request. Would anyone like to add or comment on the third criteria?
I think one additional item would be the setback is 11 times what's required in the district for the front setback. So even though it's in front of the house, it's still,
That's good, let's put that in there. Anything else? All right, fourth, the proposed variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. We didn't hear anything that would raise a concern that it would have any kind of effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions. Would anyone like to add or comment on the fourth criteria? Fifth, the alleged difficulty is self-created. And I think we have talked about a condition.
Maintain it in good repair, that
Yeah,
was the first.
to maintain it in good repair and to limit it, that although it's considered a temporary structure, that is limited to a temporary plastic-covered hoop house. We do have one individual who has sent us was this an email or a letter? All right, a letter that spoke for the applicant. Anything else?
Yes. Two of the four documents would not be included in this because they have different dimensions. So he was talking about the document that you have in your hand. But the other two here, different dimensions for,
Yeah.
We can,
so if we can just discard these,
right, we can't.
we can't.
We
Okay.
can't. It is it's submitted. We can choose as finding facts on what we find to be relevant or irrelevant, and we are choosing with those dimensions that we're referring to, and we can, let's just do this. I'm going to mark that as Exhibit 1, so there's no confusion on which document we're really looking at and referring to.
Just want to make sure there's no.
Oh, that's all good, okay. So let's do that. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. With that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve.
Larry, a second.
Second,
Thank you, Leah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Good luck
Thank
to
you all.
you.
Appreciate your time tonight, and look forward to having y'all drive by and see it all built.
Very good. You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Van Bortle. You are?
Good evening. I am Brad Humberstone, representing Van Bortle. I'm with R&H Architecture. And I'm here tonight seeking reapproval for a previously approved variance from 2022 for a parking lot expansion at the Van Bortle Subaru dealership. And the variance would be for a setback reduction from 80 feet down to 34 feet. And the key component in all of that is that the 34 feet will be consistent with the rest of the existing parking lot north asphalt line. Keeping that consistent with, again, the rest of the existing parking lot that we are adjacent to. Again, this was something that was, we're kind of dusting it off at the owner's request, again, from 2022. And it, again, I remember being here, 4 years ago doing this, and one of the big concerns was that, that it did align with the existing adjacent property and parking lot. So just maintaining a level of consistency is the key thing for us. That's the extent of my speech tonight. I'm obviously here to answer all the questions and go through the five questions that, the hardships and all that stuff, and happy to entertain.
So, what's changed?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing has changed, other than the approval has lapsed.
Do we have any changes, Adam, from the, so,
Oh,
So the site
more
plan.
clarification,
Yeah.
Yeah.
More clarification. Nothing physically has changed.
correct.
The site plan used for the previous variance has since become irrelevant because a new survey was conducted as part of an administrative lot line adjustment, and the new survey is more accurate than the previous site plan that was presented before the zoning board. So that's the dimension changed by the 6 feet based on a more accurate survey.
Who requested the survey? Did they do it or did we do it?
No, there used to be another parcel. The previous variance was actually applied to 2 addresses. One of those addresses has since been absorbed by the other address. So through the administrative lot line process that they have to get approved by the planning and building department and then file with the county, they need a survey, a legitimate survey, not an engineer. These drawings are close, but until someone goes out with the survey equipment and finds it. So that has since come to light, which happened after the granting of the
Correct.
previous variance. So again, nothing's physically changed. The other parking lot hasn't changed. It's just new information more than anything.
Nailed it. Yeah.
But there is a new parking lot. Are we talking about a new parking lot or not?
They would like to extend their parking lot.
Correct.
So, looking at this map.
Yep.
The gray areas where you want to extend to.
That's correct.
the prior variance was granted when?
I believe in 2022.
March 15th, 2022.
So we are now more than 4 years later.
Correct.
And the board, albeit not the same members, the board spent a fair amount of time sorting it out. weeding through everything, went up to the county, we looked at it, and it was granted. And it sat and sat and sat. Now, here we are again.
Yep.
Spending some more time on something that's arguably close, but it's about the same variance that you have to go through it again.
Yes.
Why should we? I'm not trying to be facetious or giving you a
sure.
hard time, but this exercise of what we're doing, we have to sort out if it's exactly the same, if it's the same analysis. Sure, it'd be so easy just to put a rubber stamp on it and say, okay, fine, here's more time, go ahead, do it or don't. But we look at things, we take our jobs, our roles at public servants seriously.
Same. I do the same thing when I'm representing a client.
Okay.
I'm here on their behalf and trying to get this approved because they
So
asked me to be here.
if it's approved, what is the timetable for getting this project done and getting it across the finish line so we're not here and 4 years later saying, oh, here we go again?
I'm hoping that's not the case as well. I mean, I didn't think 4 years ago that I would be here in 2026 doing the same thing. I mean, again, it was an out-of-the-blue phone call saying, hey, can we do this project or not? I said, no, everything's lapsed. We've got to go back to planning board. We have to go back to ZBA. We have to make sure everything's clean. So here we are. I wish I could tell you with full certainty that they are going forward with it. I mean, we've estimated the project. We've given them a cost for it. They've greenlit the budget for it. It is a need. It was a need then. It just wasn't something that they chose to pull the trigger on.
What's your best estimate on when they want to put a shovel in the ground, assuming that this board decides to grant the variance?
We are trying to get this asphalted by the end of the year.
Okay.
That is our driving force to get this done by the time the asphalt plants close in Thanksgiving, early December.
Okay.
That
All
is
right.
what we're pushing and striving for.
All right. Matt, questions, comments, concerns?
I'm in the business, I kind of understand how projects have got approvals and they don't happen and things change. So I understand that. It seems pretty straightforward. It's just an extension of the parking lot. I kind of read through all the minutes from previously, and it didn't seem like the board, when granting the initial variance, had a lot of concerns about the project and the way it was going that we should be delving into, so I was okay with it.
All right. Larry?
Will there be landscaping in front of the new parking lot?
Yes. It's not shown here, it's shown on planning board drawings. This is for setback.
What stopped them from doing it 4 years ago?
I honestly don't exactly know the answer to that question. It felt like it was we lost a job because of it. I mean, we didn't lose it, we just weren't able to perform the construction on it. So I don't know. I don't know if it was budget-based. It could have been the nature of the auto industry. It could have been a whole bunch of things 4 years ago. It was pretty turbulent.
And do you know what's driving their need now? I mean, they've gone 4 years without the additional parking spaces.
Great question. I don't know the answer to that. Just that there's a desire to put more vehicles out there.
Would you like to know that?
So when you're talking about a parking lot, you're talking about a parking lot for inventory,
Yes,
not for customers.
correct.
Okay. I'd love to know it, but I'm not going to hold it up for that.
Well, no, we can't decide today.
Okay.
The county needs to hear it.
Correct.
So.
I'll be back.
You
yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
back, so maybe it might be helpful for at least one board member to
Great
know.
question. Yeah.
Find out from
Yep.
management,
Yep.
those kinds of questions. The more that we can get pinned down, the better we can understand what's going on.
Fair point.
Okay? Larry, anything
No
else?
more questions?
Leah?
Okay, I had similar questions as Larry did. And also, I pass there quite regularly. Now I'm actually going to probably look a little more when I pass by. But it seems when I pass by, like you're saying, you know, and you'll find out the need for these extra spots. But it seems to me that the other spots on the current lot, it doesn't look like it's a full lot every time I pass. It just sees that. I look at it when I pass, but I'm not really focused
Right.
too much on it. So I'd like to know some more about that, you know, as Larry said. And so, and we approved this in '22. So now you're going to pave this area. Are you going to clear the whole lot that it shows? You know, I know you're clearing it where the parking spots are, but is there any other part of the lot you're clearing in back
Yeah,
of the
there's
spot?
a abandoned house that's on the property right now that's been slated to be demoed
Mm-hmm.
as part of this project, and it's not been lived in for a little while, so.
Right, and anything in the back of the towards the back of the lot,
Creek?
I would say that's,
Yeah, we're trying not to impact anything. We run into
South.
topography. We're trying to keep things as flat and level as possible. There's some wooded areas back there. It goes down to a creek, some pretty good grading that we're really tried hard to limit the amount of disturbance that we have.
okay. Okay, that's all I have.
Yeah.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Right. For those board members that weren't here, I think Matt is correct. If you read all those minutes, I really don't want to rehash it or spend the time to do it. I think the board that heard the application asked a lot of questions and why it is they need it, the location, and what the whole big plan is about why they need that space. I think it's in there, it's in the minutes, so it would certainly be worthwhile to review those minutes for the next time
Sure.
we see you. Did you have to ask it? Does anyone speak for or against the application? Okay.
What would be the best way to get that information? Is that wait until the next ZBA?
That's your
or-
choice.
Or
You
is that to
can-
submit some type of letter from the owner
You
or?
can- Sure, you could
Okay.
email it.
Okay,
We will then see it prior to, which is helpful because I think all of us usually review this well in advance of the meeting
Fair.
and start to formulate the questions and figure out really what's going on. So not that they would turn down if you say at the time of the hearing, oh, here's the answer to your question. Certainly, we'll consider it.
understood.
I think you understand the criteria. This isn't the first time you've done this.
Correct.
So you know what the criteria is, you know what we're looking for. If there's other information you think would be helpful for us, then by all means, add it. We'll take a look at it.
Do.
All right?
All right.
Any other questions, concerns, anyone? All good? Susie, no one? All right, we're good. All right, I think we have it. Thanks
you
so
very
much.
much.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
you July, what's your number?
July 20th.
July 20th.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks. Have a
Thank you.
good night. Anyone? Anything else before the board?
Just a reminder that I will be out the first meeting of August.
All right, we
I know
have
that's
that?
down already, but
Yes, and I think we are either have or in line.
That is
are-
covering that one.
Okay, all right, good. Thanks for the reminder. Anything else?
move to adjourn.
Thank you, Larry. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Outstanding. Enjoy your evening. Thanks so much, everyone.